So you leave West Virginia, you decide to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
How was that decision? You know, obviously, think about it the year before, you're in your senior season, you know, didn't go the way you guys wanted to.
Yeah.
Now you're hungry trying to go get drafted. How was that?
I had just seen the interview the other day that Tom Brady had, and he was talking about Bryce, the little quarterback, about how you get into the lead and, you know, you get drafted high, they expect you to act right now. And it's all about the program and the system you in, and the type of player you are too, and a type of coaches you get around at the next level. You know, how they develop you as a player. I feel like when I first got in the league, you know, I always was one of the most talented in this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like you, just like a lot of these other players. And I honestly believe if I would have had a little bit more different coaching, you know what I mean? I'm not worrying about the system. I'm not the system. We all know how that is. But for me, to be a receiver, you got to be technical sound, especially when you get into the NFL and you playing against the Shermans, you playing against the Patrick Petersons, you playing against these guys that, you know, that are somehow Hall of Famers in one day. You know what I mean? So for me, it was a little different. I struggled in the beginning. You know what I mean? And you know, everybody gonna always say, well, they ain't use them right. Well, they ain't this. Well, for one, I got to take accountability for myself. You know what I mean? And I honestly believe I didn't really get that type of coaching as a receiver the receiver that made me in the back end of my career. So I got around a coach named Sanjay Lau. He over there at the Chargers now, and whoever ever played with Sanjay, you know, he developed you, and he developed me to a receiver that I wish I would have had when I was a rookie. And I feel like my career would have been so much better. You know what I mean? Like I say, we came from a air raid offense to I go to the Rams and I'm in a pro style now.
It's a big difference,
you know
for sure.
I mean?
Obviously,
So,
the small, what you're talking about, the small, minute technical details of
it matters.
It really, really matters to the most. For me, you know, obviously it's kind of the same way for you. We're in that offense. You get out there, you flash a 5, boom, safety's here. You're reading it across the field.
Exactly.
You get into a pro style system, and every split, every block,
every distance on your route, everything matters. You know what I mean? So then another thing, when I first came in the league, you know, they put me in outside receiver. I played slot my whole time in college. You know what I mean? So it was just another transition that I just had to get over, and unfortunately, you know, I got to it late. I got around Sanjay Lau late, and I spent 3 years with him. You know what I mean? It just wasn't no 6 months. I spent 3 years with him, 2 with the Cowboys, 1 at Jacksonville. You know what I mean? And Jacksonville was when I really started getting a hold of myself, you know, as a receiver, as an NFL receiver.
Your first few years in the league is you're, you know, feeling like you're not getting what you need out of it, and you feel like you're struggling a little bit. Do you lose a little bit of confidence in yourself, or you just feel like, you know, once you get drafted, you're in that position, right?
Yeah, especially when you high, right?
Yeah.
It started getting to me a little bit, but I still was making plays in other ways, though. You know what I mean? I really, truly believe I should have went to the Pro Bowl 2 years, you know, if anybody, but it would have been on special teams. I still was making flash plays here and there, you know what I mean? But it's being a consistent number of true one receiver, it really wasn't it at the time, you know what I mean? And that's just me being older now, me being at the league, and me understanding, like, no, you got to be a different body out there to be a true number 1 or number 2 or number 3 out there. You know what I mean? So it's cool. You know, when I look back at it now, I'm glad I can be honest with myself. I'm glad that whenever receivers come talk to me, I can be honest with them and just let them know, like, hey, you got to develop this, you got to develop that for you to eventually be who you want to be.
For sure. As you get drafted, you know, you get that big rookie contract. Right, you finally start to get some money. Where was your first big purchase that you had whenever you got to
my first boy? I ain't spending it on me. I spend it on my mother. You know what I mean? Got my mother a little house or whatever. Got it a big house, but you know, my very first purchase that I really felt like I was in the league. I went and bought that big boy S550. You know what I mean? I went and bought that. And
that nice big body Mercedes.
Yeah, I had an all black one too. You know what I mean? So, funny story is when I went to go buy it, we had to go play Carolina that day, and the schedule changed. So I'm buying a car, and the schedule changed. We left a whole hour and a half before, so I missed the flight.
So you're going to make this first purchase.
So
and
I
you're
go
sitting
make
there.
the first
You're
purchase.
sitting there in the dealership, and you obviously you're getting ready to take this to the team plane.
Exactly.
And it's gone.
when I drive back over there in St. Louis to Earth City, over there to the facility, then I keep my phone going off the hook. You know what I mean? But I'm like, man, I'm on my way. I just answer when I get to the door. You feel me? So when I finally get there, you know, all the bus is gone. Then I finally answer. I'm talking about Stan Kroenke, Les Snead, the GM, the owner, Jeff Fisher, my receiver coach, my mother. Everybody is beating my phone down. I'm thinking something really wrong. Yeah, you missed the play. You know what I mean? So they told me what I had to do. They sent me a flight. I had to go spend it, my own money. That was the happiest $1,000 I ever spent on a one-way flight to North Carolina. You know, I spent that flight, went over there. And man, that game was crazy too. That game was crazy.
They probably had to give you a little shit for that, obviously.
So when I finally walked in, you know, Will Hayes, you know, I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what's about to go on. You know, you get fined for everything. Yeah, I should have been a big boy fine.
For sure.
I should have been about with a $50,000-$60,000 fine. You know what I mean? So I get there, team meeting. That's about 7:30, 7:45.
Nice.
And I see Coach Fish. I kind of just looked at him and ducked my head. He kept walking. And then he just came to me like, hey, you all right, buddy? Like, you all right? So I'm like, yeah. He like, just go out there and make a play tomorrow. So I'm like, all right. It kind of made me feel a little better. So
it's nice to have somebody when you're sitting there. You're obviously feeling like, man.
Yeah.
You obviously let your
Feeling
teammates
like,
down.
yeah,
You're obviously like,
exactly.
you know, it's an honest mistake. It's not something like
that
you were
was the
trying to.
first time I ever been late for anything. Like, and from that day, I used to be first in the building to everything, meetings, workouts. When we leaving for a game, I was the first one on a bus. I never was late or missed another meeting again.